There's been a lot of arguments on the internet if Death is a villain because of the role he played. Death is a character from DreamWorks Studios. He debuted for the first time in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and his role was so daring that almost everyone thought he was a villain. In my opinion, Death is not a villain, and I'm here to tell you why. In this video, I'm going to talk about what makes a villain and why Death is not a villain. Now sit back and enjoy the show. And enjoy the video. What makes a villain? I browsed out on Google and this is what I found. It says a villain is defined as an evil or wicked character that enacts evil actions or harm others, and this is the only explanation you need to know whether Death was a villain or not. Throughout Death's appearances on Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, he didn't cause harm to anybody. He didn't enact any evil action to anybody except Puss in Boots, and he did that because he was there just for Puss in Boots. A villain is believed to be a character that causes harm and intimidates the people around him, a character that is so determined in getting what he wants that he could go any length in achieving that, and this was entirely a different story when it came to Death. Wolf, also known as Death, is a soul reaper, someone that takes the souls of the dead. Like, he is literally Death. He reminds us that every time.
And I don't mean it metaphorically or rhetorically or poetically or theoretically or in any other fancy way. I'm Death, straight up.
Puss in Boots is a cat, and cats are believed to have 9 lives, which Death found absurd. He got interested in Puss in Boots because he saw how he wastes his life because he knows he's going to come back, but unluckily for him, he was down to his last life, and this was where we saw Death appear to him to show him, oh, I'm here to color your soul once you lose your last life. Death is sadistic and he takes great pride in striking fear to his victims. I call it his victims because, you know, they're already dead and he takes their soul. But in Puss's case, Puss was not dead, but he was down to his last life, and Death was here to remind him, you are already down to your last life, might as well help you make it quicker. And according to him, he loves the smell of fear. He loves making his victims fear because he is Death, because he is that big bad wolf. All these characters doesn't make him a villain. He is just a soul collector, someone that is very good at his job. Let's talk about why he's not a villain. Death is not a villain because his main purpose was to correct Puss in Boots, to be able to value and cherish his lives regardless of having 9 lives. We have seen how braggadocious Puss in Boots can be, how he doesn't listen to anyone. Hell, he didn't even listen to his doctor. He ended up calling him a quack and a crazy man, and his doctor told him that he needs to find where he will rest and enjoy his last life, but Pussy's ego and pride overcloud his judgment that he didn't even want to listen to what his doctor had to say.
That doctor is a quack and a crazy man. You should stick to cutting hair.
So for a cat like this, no one can convince him otherwise, and if care is not taken, he could misuse his last life and he would just die off like that. This was where Wolf had to come in. Wolf is not a villain. If he was a villain, he wouldn't play it cool. He would have just straight up killed him ASAP. You know, after telling him, I'm here to color your soul because you were misusing all your lives, so why not just help you end your last life and color your soul because that is my job. But that is not what Wolf did. Death had to tell him again what the doctor said, but in his own way, because he is Wolf, because he is the big bad wolf. He had to put him off balance. He had to remind him, you don't laugh in the face of death like how you always say, right? I am Death. He had to remind him that. And I'm here to make you realize that you have to cherish your last life. This was literally what Wolf was telling Puss, guys. And it worked, guys. Whatever he was doing worked. Whichever way he chose to interpret that worked, because clearly Puss was not ready to listen to any doctor or anybody tell him that he's in his last life, that he should take it easy and cherish his last life and make it count. But he was ready to listen to Wolf because Wolf showed him who he is, and he was scared. He was shitting his pants. The movie already have 2 villains, so there is no need to have 2 different villains in a movie because Big Jack Horner is already the villain, and as the villain, Big Jack Horner killed people. He was wicked, he was tormenting people, he was manipulating people and intimidating people at the same time, but Death didn't kill anyone or torment anyone. He only focused on Puss in Boots because he personally needed to teach him a lesson to make him understand, to value his life. He cares about Puss at this point to even do this, guys. And for the record, guys, during their first meeting, it was Puss that first attacked Death, and then he couldn't complete the job. Death was able to draw out a blood in his face, and this was when he started running. This gave Death more power to manipulate and intimidate him the more, because he loved striking fear to his victims. So it gave him an edge to manipulate him more and to enjoy the ride and everything that was going on, guys. During their last fight, Puss was able to overcome the fear of Death, and he was able to face him face to face. This was where Death realized that he is no more scared of him and he's willing to fight for his life, and immediately his job was complete because he wanted Puss to value and cherish his life, and that was exactly what Puss did by fighting him off without being scared or afraid of him any longer. We saw Wolf angry and frustrated as he yells, "You are ruining this for me," because this was not what he planned. He planned on tormenting him. At the end of the day, he's going to kill him because probably Puss will still be egotistic and he could care less about his life. But Puss was able to finally learn to value and cherish his life, to be with the people that he cares about. Death was angry because Puss was cutting his fun, because he finally realizes to value his life, and then he was also angry that he won't be living with his soul because that was what he came to do. So at the end of the day, Puss was able to value his life, and then Death left him by saying, "We will meet again," which means at the end of the day he will eventually die and then they will meet again. In my opinion, this doesn't make Death a villain. He was just doing his job, but he happens to be very good at his job that he had to devise any means to make sure that he gets his job, that he hits the jackpot, and that was what he was doing, and people are mistaking him for a villain. He is not a villain, guys. But tell me what you think in the comment section. Let me hear your opinion. Let me see your point of view. If you think Death is a villain or not, let me hear in the comment section. If you made it to this level, you are the real MVP. I really appreciate you. Please make sure to like the video because it will help the algorithm to show the video to more people. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll welcome you to the channel. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section. I will see you guys in my next video. I'm out of here.